We are already in the second month of this year, and a new month means new exciting updates from Home Assistant. So let's look into those. Firstly, the home dashboard is now the overview dashboard, and this will be the default one when you start Home Assistant for the first time. Now we have a few changes, like you can see this newly discovered devices up front in the summary section, and then from there you can go ahead adding newly discovered devices directly in Home Assistant from here. Another improvement is that in the devices section, you will find the devices that are not assigned any area, and you can now find this assigned area button so you can directly assign areas to the devices. Another improvement is that in the areas pages, if you have multiple temperature sensors, you can assign the primary one to your area by editing the area page and then setting up the temperature and humidity sensor for the area, and this will appear as a badge on top of the page and as well as in the overview page. Home Assistant has helped us to make our home smarter every single release, and now they need a little bit of help from you. The Open Home Foundation is building a device database of the devices that are being used in Home Assistant for various users. So if you're willing to provide this data anonymously to Home Assistant, then you can enable this option in the lab section to share the anonymized device data to Home Assistant. This will not be any of your personal identifying data, and you can opt out from this at any time. Right now, this data is available via this publicly available dashboard, which shows the various devices and the type of integrations that are used. So if you can, then enable this option to help the Open Home Foundation to build this device database. Next, in this release, Home Assistant add-ons are now called as apps. I'm not 100% sure if they have to be called as apps, because usually apps mean something which is visual, and there are add-ons that don't have any visual UIs, but in this release the add-ons will be referred to as apps everywhere. Currently, the documentation will continue to use the term add-ons for some time and gradually move to using the term apps over time. Apart from that, the add-on store was a separate process, but now this is integrated in Home Assistant, which is visually pretty much the same, but it is much more faster and snappier to use. Next, Home Assistant had released via the lab section the purpose-specific triggers and conditions for automations, and we have now more triggers like person and vacuum. Then for conditions, we have a new condition section providing you the purpose-specific conditions rather than explicitly checking the state of the entity. Like for example, if the person is at home or not at home, the lock is jammed, the lock is locked, etc. This is yet another step further to help create automations in more intuitive manner. Next, we have a new distribution card that you can add to your dashboard. Now currently, when you add the card, the power consumption entities are already added, and you can then interact with the card to view more information further. Now, this is not only for power consumption but also to show other distributions, like here I am adding the battery levels of different devices, and you can then interact with the distributions. Next, we have this search option being upgraded, and it is now called Quick Search, which can be invoked via Command+K or Control+K. You can then search across basically everything, that is different pages, options, commands, entities, devices and areas. For me, this is a really cool feature wherein I can use it to go to any place directly from this search option without manually clicking through various pages to reach the page that I want. Another small change in this release is that the developer tools that was on the side panel is now moved to the settings page to keep all the administrative tools in one place. Next, we have quite some integrations available, and one which I feel is important is this Cloudflare R2 storage that can be an affordable option for keeping your backups on the cloud. They have a pretty generous free tier of about 10 GB a month for standard storage and without any fees for retrieving data. Next, if you are a customer of Green Planet Energy in Germany, then you can get dynamic pricing data to calculate the cost of your energy consumption. Now, these were some of the most important updates of this beta release of Home Assistant, and the final changes will be released this coming Wednesday. Now, if you like to see such quick updates about Home Assistant releases, then make sure to subscribe to the channel as well as hit that like button for more such videos to come. Till then, take care and I'll see you in my next one.